Hi, I'm Michael Dresser. I'm a Wheel of Consent coach and trainer. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why I think consent is about more than just getting permission. So consent, rightly, has moved to the top of the agenda in recent years, but it's not always clear what we mean by consent, and very few of us have had much, if any, education around it. So no wonder the whole consent thing can sometimes feel slightly daunting. So I want to unpack here some of the ways you experience it and how you can describe it. So let's start with what I mean by consent. So there's lots of definitions of consent, but most of them tend to focus on one particular thing. Consent means getting permission, right? Yes, and that's not all there is to it. So permission only describes one dynamic of relating. So if I said, I'm moving house this weekend and I need a car to transport my stuff, may I borrow yours? What I'm saying is I want to take action with something that's yours in order to benefit myself. So I'm asking your permission. Seems pretty simple, right? But there's also another dynamic of relating, and incredibly, we don't actually have a word for it, even though it's something that we're all familiar with in our everyday lives. So if I said, I'm moving house this weekend, will you bring your car and drive my stuff to my new place for me? Now what I'm asking is for you to take action with something that's yours in order to benefit me. And that's different from asking for permission. And you might think, well, we're just talking about who's driving the car, it's no big deal. But imagine that we're talking about something that involves touch, especially intimate touch. So may I stroke your... I'm getting consent to touch you the way I want by asking your permission. Or will you stroke mine? I'm asking if you're willing to touch me the way I want to be touched. And suddenly it becomes much more important that consent during an intimate encounter includes more than just permission. So I work with the Wheel of Consent, which is a tool for navigating interactions, which I think allows for a broader definition of consent. And the reality of consent is that it's usually required in situations where there are multiple elements happening that benefit the people involved in different ways. So rather than thinking of consent purely about getting permission, I find it's often more helpful to think of it in terms of making agreements. So I think of consent as being an agreement between two or more people about what will or won't happen. Now, the word agreements might conjure up visions of complicated contracts or negotiations, and yeah, it's true, sometimes it can really help to get as much detail as possible beforehand about what will or won't happen. And often, the more information you have about something ahead of time, the more safety you'll feel around getting involved. So for example, if a friend wanted to come and use your house for a party, you might want to know what kind of party, how many people are coming, what time is it going to finish. But agreements can really be as simple as you want to make them. So asking, will you do the washing up? Doesn't really require much more detail than that, but it's pretty clear what the agreement will be. The important thing here is really that approaching consent as being about making an agreement rather than just getting permission actually describes more accurately how we experience consent in our everyday lives. So permission is one dynamic of consent, but there is that other dynamic too, when you want somebody else to do something for you which requires an agreement rather than permission. So if you want to know more about the practicalities of consent, check out my website and like and subscribe on here to stay up to date with more tips and resources from me.